speaking of successes, Austria is one of the countries that are doing very, very well in terms of organics. And right now you have up to about 10% of organic market in Austria. And also you are among the top 5 countries that, per capita consumption of organic, you are among the top 5 countries. So just from, you are in the market already. So from an outside person who's trying to view in, what are some of the things that you guys have really done very well over the years that has enabled your market to grow that fast? Not from market perspective only, but also from the farmers also wanting to be part of the organic movement.
Okay, that's a super interesting question, and I think that will a lot of people within the European Union will ask that question, because the aim of the farm to fork strategy is to have 25% organic share in farmland. And that's what we already have in Austria. So we have 26% of the farmland is now grown organic or cultivated under organic regulation. Yeah. And organic is a real successful story that here in Austria. Yeah. So it started in areas maybe 20, 25, 30 years ago where they had dairy on pastures. Yeah. So because for them it was really easy to convert to organic, because they didn't spread any mineral fertilizer on the pastures, because they had the manure from the cows, and they didn't need to apply any pesticides. So it was easy for them to say, okay, now we are convert to organic. Yeah. And from there, some food retailers jumped up, some supermarket chains jumped up, created brands, and started to raise awareness on a consumer level. Yeah. And that was quite the beginning for people, because then they have access to a broad consumer audience, and they started to raise awareness. And what happened then, it was like later on it was more consumer driven than it was driven by politicians, because consumer demanded more organic food. Yeah. When the awareness was starting to raise, and they demanded more organic food, so the price level was always quite high. Yeah. At the same time, Bio Austria was established, which is an organization for organic farmers, which has now about 15,000 members, I think, in Austria. Yeah. And this, I think, really drove the movement, because farmers then have seen, okay, it's more nicely, because I don't have to spray pesticide, I don't have to apply mineral fertilizer, so I have a cost reduction on this side, and I have a better value for my produce, so I get higher price. So price was always 2 times higher than conventional, and even if you had maybe a reduction in yield, you still had a much better income. Yeah. So a lot of farmers started to convert, and this was the reason. And now large farms, large arable fields farms converting, wineries converting, fruit producers, orchards farmers are converting. So there is a lot of movement, and still there is still a lot of interest from Austrian farmers to convert to organic.
Yeah. So primarily what you're saying is it was more of consumer driven than maybe government policies?
Yeah, it was still not unfriendly government policy for organic farmers, but there could have been done more. Yeah. But at the end, I think it was really consumer driven, which was initiated by the food retailers. Okay. Because the food retailers started to do some commercials and some advertisement, and they raised awareness for food, food quality, for farming, and so. But then it was really the consumer who demanded more products, and the retailer have seen, okay, there is not only interest in organic milk or butter, the people are also interested in organic bread, organic vegetables. Yeah. So from there, it's really started to roll out. Yeah. And and it was a huge success. And now we have a good independent consultancy in organic farming. That's also something really different to conventional agriculture, because in conventional agriculture you have the consultancy from the industry.
Yeah.
So the fertilizer producer, the pesticide producer, they consult farmers, and there you always have a kind of interest, a financial interest in consulting. So it makes more sense if the farmer buys something.
Yeah.
And in organic farming, consultancy is more independent, because there is nearly no product to sell, because nutrient management on our farm is only done by cover crops and crop rotation, for example, and we do not apply any pesticide.
Yeah.
So there is no business for the industry.
Yeah, it's very interesting you mentioned about the, part of the success of organic in Austria really being driven by the consumers themselves. From a policy perspective, did you see something change that maybe aided the growth of the organic movement?
Yeah, I think there was some help from politicians, especially in deciding how to structure the Austrian GAP, the Austrian Common Agricultural Policy sector. So there was some benefit for organic farmers, and that definitely helped also farmers to convert faster. And now you get, for example, for the first years, you will get some subsidies to help with the certification process and things like that. But most of the time it was really market driven, because farmers have seen they can have a better profit on one side. And there was always a little bit of claim that the old organic farmers always said, yeah, but the new ones, they are only interested in the money, and that's why they convert. But every time I've seen a farmer where I thought, okay, maybe he's more interested in the money than in the health thing and the sustainability topics and regenerative. And so after visiting a few courses and lessons, then they were really enthusiastic, looking at the soil and starting to think differently than before. So maybe even if they converted for a profit reason, later on they converted with their heart also.